defend the actions of vigilantes like Kyle Rittenhouse?
Well, we're looking at all of it. That was an interesting situation. You saw the same tape as I saw, and he was trying to get away from them, I guess, it looks like, and he fell, and then they very violently attacked him, and it was something that we're looking at right now, and it's under investigation, but...
That was moments ago. Donald Trump appearing to defend the alleged shooter in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Back with me, Reverend Al Sharpton. Rev, I don't know how you're feeling hearing that, but I got to say it's pretty shocking to hear the president say something like that. Even after 4 years, I am shocked to defend the actions of a 17-year-old man who killed 2 protesters, one of which was armed with a skateboard. And the last time I checked, I don't think a skateboard could kill someone. What did you make of the president's comments?
It is the epitome of an insult to the intelligence of the American people for the president of this country to act like this young man that should not have been in the streets, by the way. It was after the curfew. He's walking down the street with an AR-15. Had he been a black kid on the other side of the city, he would have immediately, at best, been apprehended because they were told it was a curfew. But for him to act like a young one had a skateboard, one unarmed, and they're dead, and the president to come up with some mock defense or suggest we need to look into it, but could not at all deal with Jacob, who was uninjured, since he wants to look at tapes. Look at the tape of Jacob that had nothing in his hand, was no threat to anyone, that was shot in the back 7 times. This is why tomorrow his going to Wisconsin is a campaign stop, is to try and act as though he's being proactive around something with law enforcement. If he was serious, he would do what President Obama did during Ferguson. He'd send the Attorney General in there, and the Attorney General would tell all concerned, including the family of Jacob, that we are going to have a serious federal investigation. That is why, as I said earlier, Yasmin, you can't have healing without the injury. You have a bunch of people in the waiting room talking about healing each other while you have the patient laying in the operating room hoping somebody would come and do surgery, and he's being ignored.
It's like being an alcoholic and acknowledging you have a problem. You got to say, I am an alcoholic before you can actually address the problem and get better. Rev, I think about this a lot, and you and I have had a lot of conversations about racial injustice in this country because there's no better person to talk about it than with you. And I wonder, there's no mile markers for change because this is 400 years of systemic racism in this country. And there are so many folks that are distraught about what is happening in this country. But what are the mile markers? What are the moments that we can look at and say, yes, change is on the horizon. Something is happening. The hiring practices in police departments is changing. Sensitivity training is happening in police departments. Community involvement is moving forward. There are folks that are getting rid of the hate that they carry in their heart, that they have carried in their heart for centuries. What are those mild markers?
The first mile markers must be that we have to have equal protection under the law and have the right laws. We had started going in that direction with the policing task force that President Obama and Biden had set up that was totally disbanded by the Trump administration. We started going that way with consent decrees on cities that had a pattern of police abuse. We need to get back on that track. We need to and also therefore pass the George Floyd Policing and Justice Act that the House of Representatives have already passed. McConnell needs to bring that to the Senate floor. That's what Friday's big march was about in Washington. And John Lewis's bill. We have, throughout American history, made some steps forward and then was pushed back with a backlash. We are in the backlash that is personified by Mr. Trump. We need to push past the backlash and go back on the road that was not perfect and certainly was not as far as we needed to go, but at least it was headed in the right direction. We've gone on a detour that's dangerous for all, including police. There are policemen that want to see this dealt with in a fairer way and not used as campaign props in Kenosha tomorrow.
Reverend Al Sharpton, thank you. I hope to see you in studio one day soon, my friend.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.